Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams. I'm the host of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. Super excited to be with you today as I help another real member of the Flipped Lifestyle community take their business to the next level and change their family's future. Excited to welcome to the program Rabbi Ariel Scholl-Clapper and his wife, Sarah Scholl-Clapper, onto the program today. She is also a rabbi, and they have created a membership all about Jewish mindfulness. It's a really interesting topic, and Ariel's been crushing it inside the Flipped Lifestyle community for a while now. He's launched, he's got some members, and we're going to talk about what's holding him back and why he's not growing after getting a couple members in his membership side today. We're also going to touch on how to work with your spouse, especially when the spouse is supportive but doesn't want to hear about your online dream. They want you to stop talking about it at dinner and stop talking about it in the car and stop talking about it in the bedroom. Like, oh my gosh, look, I love you. I want you to go make this online business happen. I support you, but I ain't got time for that. So we're going to talk a little bit about getting along with your spouse when it comes to your online business dream. We're going to talk about membership tiers and how you should choose your tiers. We're going to talk about how you can define a customer avatar so that you know exactly who you're serving. That's one of the biggest mistakes we see people make is when they have too many people to serve, too many avatars. They're trying to market to everybody, and they end up marketing to nobody. So we cover a lot of ground today. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I know it's going to help you move your online dream forward. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited to invite another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community onto the podcast today so that we can help them take their business to the next level and build a better future for their family. And I'm pumped because we've had a streak going lately of couples coming on to the program, and we got another couple on the show today. I love it when the team is here, when you got the team ready, so we're not getting any false information from one side of the equation. So we've got Ariel and Sarah Scholl-Clapper on the program today. How you doing, guys?
Hey. Good. How are you?
I am fine. I'm great. I'm fine. I get more keyed up. I've been podcasting all day, and I get, Jocelyn says the more podcasts I do, the more excited I get. That's why she cuts me off at about 3 o'clock every day so that I go to sleep. Okay. All right, guys, you all been in the member of the Flipped Lifestyle community for a while now. I've enjoyed so many conversations with you guys, but I want you to tell everybody listening to the podcast today a little bit more about you, a little bit more about your background, and more about the online business that you're trying to start.
So the online business idea came from me because I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been teaching mindfulness, Jewish mindfulness, for several years now, as a passion, as a focus of like, I want to show people that there's a contemplative way to access ancient wisdom. For me, that's like, it's not really present in a lot of places, in a lot of religious organizations. Not because it doesn't exist in them, it's just not emphasized in the current structures. So for me, that's a passion and a mission. And Sarah, I'm not going to speak for her because I know better.
Don't we all? Never speak for your wife. That is not a good idea, my friend.
No, but we met in rabbinic school 9 years ago. 9 years ago, first day, and
he was late.
I was late.
He really stood out. I was the only woman, so I already stood out. It was easy.
Yeah, and she's an awesome speaker and orator and community organizer here. That's why we're in Houston, Texas. So we're down with the y'alls.
I'm from the South. I was already down with the y'alls.
I was from LA from before, so we didn't use that in my vocabulary, but now I do. It's efficient. She works at a big congregation here. So we moved here for her job. I'm teaching mindfulness. I've got a congregation of my own. And that's the story. We thought, how do we do this online? How do we impact more lives? How do we impact more lives, really? That's
Sure. It's taking what you're doing offline and bringing it online, which is a great next step or transition for many people that do this. And now let's talk more about what mindfulness is and what you're teaching. Like, and you said specifically, because you both are rabbis, correct? You said you both would. Okay. So it's Jewish mindfulness, ancient wisdom. Now, people don't know this about me, guys, but I am all about some ancient wisdom and some mindfulness. I am a big guy who likes, and I have a rough exterior, I think sometimes, because I don't like to sugarcoat things, but I also like to meditate, and I like to do yoga, and I like to think, and I like to, process. And mindfulness has been a really big thing for me over the last few years, because my job and leading this community and being on this podcast, I am intense all the time. Like when I wake up, I hit the ground running, and the intensity just pours out of me like lightning, right? And I have to stay intense. So I have really learned over the last few years, I need some calm and I need some mindfulness, right? So tell me more about what Jewish mindfulness is, and what do you mean when you say ancient wisdom?
So Jewish mindfulness, so the core Buddhist teaching, there's a Buddhist teaching and system for meditating. Basically, they have it mapped out, and that's within Buddhism, but it doesn't really encapsulate, like when you think of Buddhism as a religion, it doesn't, there's like one book that's the meditation book, and then there's Buddhism, right? And it doesn't have a religion associated to it. And the Buddha kind of designed it that way. He designed it so that you could take it and put it into your own language, your own system, and apply it that way with whatever you want. And Judaism, for me, is my primary language. It's my ancestral heritage. It's my, from my grandparents all the way down. So for me, that's my comfort language and the way that I connect. So for me, the Jewish part is that I'm teaching it through the lens of entirely my Jewish framework, my knowledge, my excitement about the topic. And also, I think that all of this needs to be tied to the divine. Like, I think that all of this needs to be tied to the creator, which is why I'm here doing this in the first place. My path has had splits in the road many times. And every time I'm choosing service, every time I'm choosing get closer to aligning with the divine. And that's part of how this whole thing unfolded, basically, is through my own discovery of that.
I think that one of Ariel's strong suits is that he can take that ancient Jewish wisdom that already exists, has been existing for thousands of years, the more, esoteric teachings, there's the whole collection of rabbis that was there. That's what they did on the earth, is they used what they knew to interpret the world in ways that had levels that no one was accessing. All the different Hasidic teachings and the Hasidic rabbis. And so Ariel kind of married Buddhist approach and ancient Jewish wisdom, put them together with the experience he had with other teachers doing the same thing, and brought it, I think, to a whole new level with what we're doing.
It's amazing. I this is something very interesting to me, and I know I'm going to get your emails. Here they come. I know what's going to happen on this one. We're going to talk about things that, people are like, how dare you? I got someone the other day that told me, I don't remember I went on a radio show. I was on national television, and this radio show. So I got this call, right? And I was supposed to be on, and it was like, hey, would you like to be on this radio program? We're in over 600 stations. We have 1 million listeners a night. And I'm like, well, yes. Well, they normally talk about conspiracy theories and Bigfoot and UFOs and stuff, which is cool because that's all fascinating, right? but they wanted to bring a business expert on who had experience helping real families, real people who were struggling. And I, of course, came up when they found me, because that's what we do. And so many people are struggling from COVID and the pandemic. They were like, hey, here's an alternative. If you've lost, there's 50 million people unemployed right now, right? So it's like, here's an alternative. You can go down this road. You can do this yourself. You don't need it. So I was like, I'm not going to ever pass up an opportunity to be in front of that many people and shine the light, baby, on the truth. Let's go, right? So I went and I got so much hate mail for that. So I'm probably going to get some right here for this too. Okay. Because I was like, how could you associate with all these people, these sinners? How could you do it? And I'm like, It's awesome. I want to talk to everybody. Let's go. I'm here to help people. I'm sure you guys get that sometimes too. And then because Buddhist and Judaism, no, don't do that. I'm sure you've heard that a couple times.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. It's not the first thing we lead with generally.
Hey guys, but here's my point on this. Now, I'm a Christian, so that's my faith, that's my belief, that's my core structure, right? But I have found that it's crazy not to use the tools from all of these other philosophies and things that I've seen that are really, really good. Like I'm telling you right now, I had a car wreck in college, and it nearly killed me in Jocelyn. We ended up. It was a disaster. There was a drunk driver going about 80 miles an hour on a Sunday morning. We had just got out of church. We were turning onto a road. We were going probably 10, 20 miles an hour when he hit us from behind, threw us over 4 lanes of traffic, and it really jacked up my back and my neck, right? I can tell you right now, if I had not found yoga, the practice of yoga, and my back, I would not be able to function today. My back, like I can move, I can lift weights, I can do everything. But if I had said, like some people have, like I don't do yoga, that's from something else. Like I've had people say that to me, and I'm like, you are missing out. It's stretching and physical, and it's calming your mind, and yeah, maybe you don't read the Vishnu or whatever. Like I'm fine. I'm praying to Jesus when I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like if you can adapt these tools to your belief system, and all of a sudden you're magnified and you're more powerful when you can do those things. And I just love that you're like taking that approach. Like, hey, these are things that we can use to make our beliefs magnified, to make our faith stronger. And you're just putting the two things together to serve the Jewish community that you already are serving, right?
So it's the Jewish community. And I've been surprised also that a ton of people who are not Jewish at all are showing up, and they're just taking the tools that I'm giving and applying it in the same way that you just described. Like they're, in their mind it's Jesus. And so that to me is so beautiful, because that's the point. I just want people to be more connected to their own path. It's not for me. I'm doing this for my path, and I'm trying to show people how to do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm walking alongside.
It's techniques. You're teaching techniques is what you're teaching. You're not teaching a faith or a belief system. It's a technique to get your mind where you want it to be, basically.
Exactly. So you get it. That's cool.
Ain't my first rodeo, buddy. Ain't my first rodeo. I can figure this stuff out. I have 2 superpowers. My superpower is understanding people's idea and helping rip the idea out of their brain cells. Those are my 2 superpowers. Now, after that, it's debatable if I'm good at anything, right? But I can do those things. I can do that.
And football.
Do what? What'd you say?
Football. I think you got football.
Football. I'm pretty good. I'm okay. I would call that my zone of competence, and not my zone of genius. You know what I'm saying? So I'm competent, but not the best. I was 0-10 my first year as a head coach, bro. So let's not.
Everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody's got to start somewhere. You put yourself out there.
Okay, so we've got this thing. You want to start a community where you're teaching these mindfulness techniques. Your niche is definitely the Jewish community, even though we will draw in people from other faiths and places and things like that. But that gives you context for marketing this and talking about it and doing all those things. So where are we at right now? There's usually a couple things that hold people back. There are mindset issues going into this entrepreneurial business membership, community-driven thing online. There's business tactics and strategies themselves. But let's focus on mindset. Is there anything mindset-wise that's keeping you guys from going out? Because it's a great message. Lots of people would love to hear this. What's holding you back right now from just taking this to the masses?
You tell me.
I know for Ariel, he had just had the time to make this his. Oh, and I say you have many number one priorities. I think that's fair.
That doesn't work.
No, it's true. It does. I really think he does. I mean, I know this guy, and there, it's like God, it's his family, it's us, and then it's really only a few things that you will just pour yourself into, and this is one of them. And that's great. And I think everybody who he touches through what he does benefits from that. And for me, because I work full-time in a pulpit, and anybody who works full-time in clergy, lots of other, jobs, it's more than a full-time job. You're working more than 40 hours a week, and you're always on call. It's nights, it's weekends, and I love it. I love what I do. I love being in the pulpit, and I'm 100% in the right place for me. but I don't have the time to
and energy
and mental reserves to kind of pour into this, combined with the fact that I'm still the primary caregiver of our 1.5-year-old.
Yeah, pandemic really shifted all of childcare. I know you know that, but all of a sudden that means she's better at it, honestly. Like I do help and I'm pretty active. I try, but she knows better by a lot.
Leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds, bro. I would feed him like Cheerios every day. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
just
is there a vegetable and be like, what?
I was like, he got a Cheerio. You got
a vegetable. I poured milk on the cereal. Does that count for healthy? I don't know. Right?
That's protein, right?
Yeah, I threw a carrot at it and it didn't eat it because it doesn't have teeth. I don't know what's going on, honey. Just take care of this for me.
Yeah, essentially that. So combined with like the full-time job and the full-time toddler, I just don't have the time, the energy, the mental bandwidth to throw towards this that he does.
Right. And that's similarly like my own block. I'll say that they're tied together because for me, I want to get her opinion and I want to get her buy-in. And I know that she's really thoughtful and helps and strategic. And I want to get her opinion, but I can't always wait for that. And because of all the moving parts of life. Can't tell if you're frozen right now. Oh
no, I'm good. I'm listening. I got you.
Okay. Yeah. So I can't. So for me, it's like getting past the block of just doing it and putting myself out there. And it's my emails are not going to come out without the typos, and my emails are not going to be perfect grammar, and I'm going to get it wrong, and I'm going to say something stupid for sure if I get out too far ahead of her. And I know that's true. And we both know that's true. Just because.
Have you ever read my emails? Come on, man.
Yeah, I have.
Dawson doesn't spell check my emails.
Every time I shoot off an email without asking her, I'm like, Shane would do this.
That's right, I would. You better believe it. All right, so I hear a couple things. This is very common stuff. Like I've been through the spouse thing for years, and I get it, right? So I hear a couple things. All right, one, and there's different kinds of things. There's like obstacles, like there's mindset issues that are internal, right? And that's like fears that make you procrastinate. Like I hear that because you're wanting almost permission, like to check it and make sure it's okay and go forward for good reasons. You want to be aligned and you want to do those things, right? And then the second thing is the obstacles, like the actual time thing. But I think they're kind of related. So sometimes people like you, Ariel, like I hear this same tone, and it really comes from being, what's the best way to describe it? Like a master chef, right? A master chef, a master cook is not the same thing as a chef that runs a restaurant. But you have to be the master chef. You have to be the master cook before you can run the restaurant. So like you are the master at this, and you pour your heart into it, and you lose sense of time and space when you're talking about this topic, right? Like this is, like you said, God, family, this thing, okay? That's not the same thing as taking you and putting you in charge of the menu, making sure all the food gets on the table, all those things, right? But like that's what happens in the real world. A lot of times the guy that makes great pizza thinks he can make a pizza restaurant happen. And then he starts the pizza restaurant and he runs out of money and everybody quits and the people throw pizza at him because they don't like their service, right? So this is kind of where you're at. Like you're at this place in your life where you want to do this thing, but it's going to require you to get out there and do something different than the actual love of the work that you want to actually do. Now, in your personal life, you rely on Sarah to cover those weaknesses in these things, right? Because it's just like me and Jocelyn. I can tell just from hearing you guys talk how the yin and yang works, right? But in this specific thing, you are going to have to understand that her support is actually delegation. And she is delegating to you permission that you got to go figure this out, right? Because she doesn't have the time, she doesn't have the energy, she doesn't have the bandwidth all the time. Now you can fix that. You could batch the way you communicate about this stuff. Like you could say, Saturday mornings, we talk about this over coffee. And like, that's the time. Ariel, you're allowed to bring anything you want. You all just sit there, you chill, you drink a tea, you drink coffee, whatever you do in the morning, orange juice, and you're just hanging out. Maybe it's before the kid wakes up, whatever, right? But that's the only time, that 1 hour, where you're allowed to run ideas by Sarah. Me and Jocelyn do this hardcore, like, because if we don't, we would go insane because I would do nothing but talk to her all the time about ideas, right? Yes. So you've got to be disciplined and you've got to come together and say, look, I really want your feedback, but we're going to take this 1 hour on Saturday morning or Sunday morning or Friday, whenever it is. And you're going to say, this is the hour that we talk about these things. And I'm not going to, anything else I'm going to make a decision on. So now you've said, not priorities. I have 1 hour. The only thing that's going to make it in that hour is the important stuff, right? That you really actually need some support. I'm not spell checking your emails. Just send those or hire people. You can hire people to read your emails for like $10, right? So you can, if you want to cover some of those things, you can do that. But that's where you've got to go with that like mindset shift. The other thing you've got to do is like I was saying about football. I said it's my zone of competence. Even though it's not your thing, you could probably do it competently enough to where you can get the job done. And you're going to have to take on that responsibility. Again,
I have to
discipline yourself. I've got to work on the things that aren't a part of my passion first. Like I don't like to set up sales funnels. I like to write copy, but it sucks when I get in there and start tinkering with all that mechanic stuff. But I'll do it if I have to, right? If I wanted to get something done. And you have to realize Sarah's delegated that to you. She supports you. That's all you can ask for from your spouse, right? But sometimes we want to suck them into the vortex and get them involved. And they're like, look, yo, I'm cool with that, but don't suck me into the vortex. I'm getting sucked down the whirlpool of this 1.5-year-old over here. Okay. So that's the best ways we've found to get past these issues is one, expectation. She has delegated to you. You have permission right now to go do all the things. Number two, you're competent enough to do the things so that your genius can actually be presented to the world. And you're going to have to take that over and stop looking for it. Time, batch together for block time so you can get that off, that scratch that itch once a week. You know what I'm saying? And so Sarah can talk you off the ledge once a week when you're going too fast, too far ahead, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's the only way that you're ever going to be able to move forward with this and make it get out to the world where it needs to be.
Yeah, you hit it on the nose. I think you're.
It's like he knows you.
It's like I knew he.
It's like I've been through this and seen hundreds of other people go through this, right?
Well, I was like, I know you personally probably have some version of this, and yeah, I've seen it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
For sure. And every couple goes through this in the beginning, right? Because we all have different levels of investment into the project. Okay. In the beginning, Jocelyn was not invested in our project at all. She became more invested. Then she became invested in her own thing. Then she became invested in our thing. And then now she's invested in like parts of our thing, but not other parts of our thing. We actually have a line in our business now. Jocelyn really doesn't like being on the podcast or camera so much. So she did it for years, but then she was like, I'm going to step back from this. I need to focus on some other things. And like right now, she's in a meeting with our team. We drew a line at retention. My job is acquisition. Her job is retention. So we now look at these lines, even when we are involved in the business. And if I start talking about like raising our prices or something, she's just like looks at me and goes, that has nothing to do with me. Doesn't matter. And I'm like, yeah. And I realize I'm looking for permission to raise our prices is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for her guidance and wisdom and making sure I'm not like, I'm going to double this. Is that right? Right. Like I'm looking for it's you have to tell yourself it's not about me, but it is about me. Right. It's not about me. I want your permission. I love my wife. She's awesome and smart. Right. But it's all about me. I'm insecure and I don't know if I'm going the right way and I could fail. Right. Like that's it. And once you realize it's all good. And also, Sarah, you can show him like, hey, I'm not going to be mad at you if you fail. Right. Like you're probably going to. I hate to tell you this, at least some. So, being expectations, communications will fix all that real fast. Okay. Awesome. All right. So what else is going on in the actual business of the thing? Where are you at? What have you built? Where are you stuck? And I've seen you on videos. Why is this not like the biggest thing that's ever happened in Jewish meditation? What's going on? Like, why is this not happening, dude?
So, do you have a sense of that? What are your?
Let's start with where you're at right now. What's out there? What have you sold? What have you done?
Okay, so a little bit of background. So when I came out of school, I set up a mindfulness center here locally, and part of the mission of that center, a Jewish mindfulness center, and I teach all over the country in different settings to get out the word, basically, to get people to experience. I can't tell you how moving it is to have an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor tell you that until she met me and sat with me, she didn't know that God loved her.
Oh. It's amazing.
So anyway, so I've been doing that, and then I started building a private practice, and now so I meet one-on-one with people and coach them through, and then now this is we built initially like a blueprint with a membership side, with a kind of like membership side in Kajabi, and then we opened up, and it was priced at $200 a month. It's kind of like supposed to be a step-by-step, how do you build your mindfulness practice? And in conjunction, a Jewish side of the practice. A few people purchased it of my private students, who are the only people I invited.
Good.
Purchased it like the year in advance. Like
Wow.
They took the 50% and just bought the whole thing. And so that was good. It was like
it's a great sign when someone takes an annual plan that early, right?
Great sign. Yeah, exactly. And then I just decided, I don't know, for me, part of the whole situation, reason I'm building this is because in privates, I'm working with people one-on-one, but they pay to play, man. They pay to play. And I'm also working on the other side with people who are coming for free or very little or nothing almost. And they're getting a lot of benefit too. And I could see the gap in what kind of benefit, what's achievable in the difference. So I wanted to give people more. So I decided to make a tier once I saw that people weren't able to like make that financial leap, to at least get them into the system on a low paying level.
Yeah.
So that they're like a hot list of people who I know are willing to invest. But and if I can teach them what the value of the next thing is in time, they may want that. But right now, I don't think they know really what the value of the blueprint is.
Yeah.
Frankly, they don't understand why what I've put together is so valuable.
Yeah. Because they can do it on their own without having to talk to you. And it's,
they can do an app, and they can do it. They think they can, right? They think they can. Yeah. They think, well, I could get a Calm app, or I could get a whatever app for $2, $3 or whatever. I'm like, okay, but you're not going to get the life change you want, because you're not really going to deal with like the fact that, one of the examples is I lost 10% of my body weight through something I recognized in mindfulness. And it's not that I'm depriving myself. I didn't change anything major in my lifestyle. All I'm doing is paying attention to that one realization that I connect love with food and don't do that anymore, and I work not to do that because I recognize that's a connection I've made. You're not going to get that on an app. You're not going to get that on an app.
But they will get it if they join your membership, is what you're saying. Like your membership itself, where you're going to go through your courses and blueprints, is going to get you closer to that. Much closer to that. Right. And then you will use that as leads to lead up to one-on-one coaching if you want to, basically.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to move away from the one-on-one coaching.
For sure. So you don't want them to do that. You don't want them to. You want to spread this.
I like one-on-ones, and right now the balance is shifting, because the one-on-ones, they're really lucrative, right? And the more monthly members I have, the less I have to do one-on-ones.
That's right. So what's your live component right now? Like, what are you doing live? Are you doing like mindfulness sessions for the group? You're doing 2 a month, right?
And that's it.
That's the lower cost tier.
Yeah.
Because we started with a blueprint. Ariel private clients were like, this is great, but how can we take what he does with private clients and private students and take that private student experience and make it accessible to anybody? And so we designed together the blueprint and the courses and everything, the videos, whatever. It's all up there, and it's great. And I'm not a practitioner, and I can tell like it's gold. It's amazing. So we have that up there, and that's what is listed as $200 a month. And we got a few people, and that was great. And we wanted to have a lower kind of cost tier. That's what Ariel was talking about, the lower cost tier, the lower bar for them to have to leap over to join the community. And that is calls only. Those are people who join us because people love the calls. He teaches anyway.
They do love the calls. I think you're adding too much complexity. All right, so I hear a couple problems. Let me go through this and see if this hits the nail. Okay, so I hear a couple problems. Number one, I don't feel like you're confident in your pricing on that $200 tier. And I think the reason is because you've not realized something that has to happen in memberships that does not happen in one-on-one clients, which it should, but it doesn't. Like, you feel so invested in a one-on-one client, you're very outcome based. It's like, I'm going to help this person right now get this outcome, and I'm going to give them this experience that I know for many other people has given them this outcome. Now, they may not get the outcome, but I'm going to try to give them the outcome, right? And then the problem is, when you shift to a scaling membership that's going to go wide, you have to completely disassociate outcome from opportunity. And a membership only gives people opportunity, because you're trying to recreate what Ariel does in one-on-one sessions, which you can get close, but you never will. You see what I'm saying? So that's the first problem I hear. And this happens with one-on-one coaches in any niche. Every one-on-one coach I've ever seen do this, when they go from one-on-one to one-to-many, they have this little bit of a struggle where it just doesn't feel right, and they know what they're charging for one-on-one, and it creates uncertainty in the price point and what you're delivering. Okay. Now, here's the second thing I hear. This is where I think you're not confident in your price point. You're adding this lower tier. Those are two avatars. You're starting a membership. You've got to pick who you're going to serve. For example, let's say that I was going to say, I'm going to be the Walmart of my industry. I'm going to go wide. No outcome. I'm going to give you the opportunity. Here's the course. I'm doing 1 call a month to everybody, 5 questions. That's it. Right? I'm charging $25 a month. That's a completely different person that's going to pay $200 a month. Now you've split your marketing, you've split your focus, you split your whatever. You need to decide who you're serving. Are you serving the people who are all in and actually want to watch the courses and want to be your person and want to pay $200 a month? Then that's the $200 price. It's all you offer. That's all you sell, and you do it till you get 100 members. And then you can hire help to get the rest of it. You see what I'm saying? You're fragmenting your tiers. You're giving people too many options. You're deciding, what am I marketing this week? Am I marketing 49? Am I marketing 200? Am I marketing all of it? I can't explain this anymore. It creates uncertainty, which freezes you in your tracks. And that's not what memberships are supposed to do. We're supposed to have one core offer until we have enough money to hire people to build other core offers, right? Until we can hire other people to think about these marketing decisions and when on the calendar we're going to do things and all that stuff. It's why we have the Flip Lifestyle community. Come on, there's one price. Everybody joins the same thing. Now, I have a little coaching program that I do with some people and some workshops, but that's just like gravy, right? I am never split. And what are we promoting this week? That one membership tier. What are we promoting this week? That one membership tier. What are we promoting? Because we have decided this is the person that we're going to serve. We're going to serve real people who make less than $100,000 a year, have family of school, their family, they got kids, and this is the person we serve. So that's going to dictate the price, going to dictate the offer, going to dictate the opportunity that we're trying to provide, and we don't have to think about it anymore. So I would probably tell you to get rid of one of the tiers. You need to decide who are you serving. Do you really want to serve the dabblers that'll pay at the lower tier and have a bar, or do you want to just say, look, this is who we are. This is what we do. These are our expectations for our members. And we only want the people who are willing to go down this rabbit hole. And then you can focus all your energy on just creating that. And all the uncertainty goes away at that point. Like if we say no one-on-one, I'll never sell a one-on-one to an online client. That's a rule. Don't do it. Okay. Now, second rule, there will be no lower tier. There will be a monthly and an annual for one tier that's $200 a month and everything lives there. Doesn't that sound easier? Doesn't that sound like it's clearer to you guys?
Sounds scarier.
Way scarier.
Why does it sound scarier? It is a little scarier. I know.
Well, we have far fewer people doing that than coming in just for the calls only. And
yeah, we had 2 more people come in on the calls only overnight.
Yeah.
So
maybe you should do calls only. I'm just saying, pick one of the tiers. What do you want? Who would you rather do it? What if you could just do calls only? Or what if you've made a mistake? What if you get rid of the course thing? You put the course in the lower tier with the calls only, and you just make it one tier. If you have 1,000 people paying you, how much is the lower tier?
Well, it's going up. So it's 36.
Okay.
And it's going to be 54 January.
Why 54?
I like it's a Jewish number. 18 is like the number that means life.
Okay.
It's a Jewish superstition.
Jewish superstition. It's Jewish numerology.
Okay, fine, right. All right, go whatever. Hey, most people don't have a reason. I respect the reason. Most people are like, oh no, it sounded good. I found 54 cents in my pocket and I thought it'd be great.
No, it's a lucky number. It's 3 times 18.
Love it. I love it. Perfect. All right. So all right. Why not just put everything in one tier and charge $54 a month and go find 1,000 people? Just do that. Like just put it all in one place. Why does it matter? Right? Give everybody all your courses. Don't worry about your one-on-one clients. One-on-one clients they don't care about the program or anything. They care about you. Right? It's not going to impact them. They're not going to say, well, I get all those courses. That's not going to happen. That's a different customer. Forget the $200 tier. How many people joined the $200 tier? 2?
2 purchased the year in advance, and then a few kind of signed on and then get off or whatever, because they were like, I want you to hold my hand. This is not it. I gotcha.
Well, I would, so 50% of the annual might be close to 54 a month for the year, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Throw them people a one-on-one call just to make some value there and put all that stuff in one tier. Charge $54. Go get 1,000 people. That's your mission in life for the 2021. Like, wouldn't that change your life? Would that change your life if you had 1,000 people paying $54 a month?
Yeah, I mean, the math is pretty good, solid on that one.
What if you had 200 people paying you $50 a month? Would that change your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Or I'm sorry, 200 people paying you $54 a month. That'd be $11,000 a month, right?
That'd be okay.
That'd be okay, right? Like, so like you're just wrestling with all this stuff too much. You're trying to decide all these things and value, and you're listening to gurus who say, charge this, charge that. But like, really, it's just charge one price, sell it to everybody. Let's go. Raise your price in 2 years. I mean, that's probably the best way to do it, to make it. I think that would help you, Ariel, because it takes so much pressure off of you of having to build different systems. And you're building 2 sales funnels, and you're building 2 products, and you're building 2 things, and you're serving 2 groups of people. And like, it gets so overwhelming when you could just put everybody in one bucket and carry around one bucket. And that would be just a lot simpler. And the reason now, if you were selling coaching, and you were trading time for dollars, okay, maybe the higher price is better, but that's not what you're trying to sell. You're trying to scale what you teach and give more people the opportunity while also changing your family's future with more income. And it just comes down to math at that point, like one price.
And freeing my time.
And freeing your time, right? Yeah. But you do free your time when you have a membership. So that's what I think. Like, I think it's like your reliance on being in person has made you really like that. Oh, we could offer a tier where I'll show up. That's what they really want. But they don't want that. They want to have a place where they can talk about mindfulness with other Jewish people. They want courses when they're ready to go watch them. And they also want you, right? So adding value to this lower tier, like just because you've sold it a couple times doesn't mean you should go down that rabbit hole, right? It sounds like it's easier to sell this lower tier because the Q&As are a part of that. How happy would all those people be and keep paying for the next 6 months if you added all the courses and said, you know what, I made a mistake. I'm putting everything in one place. And then you called the people that bought the annual and you've been like, hey, that annual plan, I'm combining this with this lower tier, but I want to give you a little more value. Let's do like 2 one-on-one calls together because I usually charge this and it's a great deal, right? So that way you respect and honor the people who bought the bigger package, right? We want to honor people who do that when we test new prices. But then you just tell them like, all this is available down here. I'm going to change your billing to next month. So it's only 54 from now on. They're never going to quit ever, right? Give them a one-on-one call, change their billing down going forward to 54. It's only a couple people, and then go all in and be like, you get everything for $54 now. You get all the courses, you get the Q&As, you get the community. And now you have one thing to sell. So you don't have to run to Sarah to ask for ideas, or it becomes almost too simple. Then it's like, hey, I got to sell this thing today. Sarah, what should I do? Same thing you did yesterday. Go. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So what concerns do you have other than the fear of putting that down there? What are you feeling right now? Like, what are you thinking about? Because we just changed your business model technically in 2 minutes. So
I think that just gives me a little bit more work to do around that particular avatar. This is a different avatar.
Who's your avatar? Say it out loud.
Oh God. This is a different avatar. So this is it? Yeah, then the first
Prove it. Say the avatar to me.
Well, okay, fine. So basically now the people who are buying it is that the same thing as the avatar?
Who's your avatar?
Okay, so they're who I really want to market to versus
there you go.
coming. I really want to market to the people my age, around my age, our age, families want to have a sense of connection, have family, are busy, dual income, probably 150 plus total house income, dual degree probably, woman. I think if we're gender, we're probably on woman who I'm somewhere in their early mid 30s, successful, managerial executive level, like they're doers.
Okay.
So I think that, I don't know if I did that right.
Okay. So how does that have anything to do with the tiers? The only difference in your tiers is one had a course and one didn't. It's the same. It's still the same person. Now, within the stratification of your membership, you will always have what we call the 20% rule. 20% of people will watch your trainings no matter how much you charge. 20% of people won't watch anything, do anything ever, and they'll stay month after month and nobody knows why. 20% will stay because of the Q&A, and 20% will stay because they think you're sweet and they like you, and 20% will stay for some unknown nebulous reason that's totally random and you can't believe it when you hear about it. That's it. That's why people stay. But nothing you said in that avatar had anything to do with your tiers. Your tiers was literally courses or calls only, right? So you've actually added value at a lower tier. The finances don't matter at that point, right? You're just giving him everything now. Courses, Q&As, community for $54 a month. It's a no-brainer now. Everybody at the higher tier, it's a super no-brainer. Everybody at the lower tier, it's easier because they're getting more for less. And it's the same person. You just target that person. There are millions of those people out there that you just described.
Yeah.
That want mindfulness. It has nothing to do with anything that was inside of your thing. So your avatar doesn't affect either of those things, right? That's it. You were putting way too much emphasis on content too. Usually what I've seen happen is the lower tier is content and the higher tier is access, right? Mm-hmm. Like because you're so close to the content, because Sarah is so proud of you for developing the content, because your ego and your worth is tied up in what you teach, you overvalued the content. You see what I'm saying? Now, forget that. Content's free. Anybody can find anything you're teaching for free, but what they can't get is the community of people and led in this context with that Jewish flavor to it. They can't find that. That's only able to be produced by the leader, Ariel, right? So it has nothing to do with your avatar. Absolutely nothing. You just got one tier. Everything goes in it. $54 a month because it's good luck and Jewish. Right, the numbers, right?
That's crazy when you say.
Hey man, I'm sure. Listen, you come talk to me for a little while. You'll hear crazy. I got all kinds of superstitions.
You told us where you gave that podcast.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right. Exactly, man. So yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's you have reasons to do everything. It's all in one place. But like, this is a mistake people make, and I'm picking on you a little bit here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I get to pick on you so that everyone listening at home can laugh and not get picked on. So thank you for being my guinea pig today, Ariel.
Happy to be picked on.
That's right. But what people confuse avatar, like avatar is only the person you want to help. That's it. The product is just the result they want to get help. And the price is just what we charge. Like people get so caught up in the pricing, but like the person you want to help is, people with Jewish influence and background and who want more mindfulness. How do you want to help them? You've turned what you teach one-on-one into a course and you meet with them twice a month. That's it. It's $54 a month. That's it. Now go find 1,000 people. Now all you have to focus on is how to get 1,000 people to that thing. Build audience, buy ads, do it consistently, prolifically, and relentlessly over the next year. And everything gets easier. One thing to sell. I'll tell you another thing. People really don't like it when I tell them to do this, but this is something I've been really thinking about lately. Don't even have an annual price on your sales page. Just get up every day and try to sell monthly memberships for a while. You can use annual for promotions. You know how like I send out membership masters, you do promotions like, hey, we're having an annual sale this month. Like that's something you can focus on to make some extra money. But like publicly, I'm driving traffic to a monthly membership right now. That's what I sell. Simplify it. Take things away. Get it off your plate. Don't think about it, right? Like I sell a course and a community and Q&As for $54 a month, and I don't even advertise an annual plan. It's just that's all I got to do. I got to get 1,000 people to give me $54. That's it. 2021, that's what it becomes. And then once a month, I'll show you a promotion, right? Like that you can do to kind of boost sales. So that's what you do. And that's all you do. How does that feel? How's that wipe your mind a little bit?
I feel like, yeah, it gives me like a lane. If it gives me a clear lane, just, all right, Ariel, if it doesn't fit in this lane, I'm sure that in a week from now, I'll come up with some crazy idea.
That's why we have the forums. You can come talk to us instead of Sarah. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone. Oh, I leave her alone. Come to the forums.
Yay, there you go.
She's so happy, she's like, forums, please go back to the forums.
That's right, man. You know what I'm saying? And now there's one more thing on this. Saying no now doesn't mean saying no. Okay. And in a year from now, when you've got a really strong foundation, you can revisit the idea of tiers when you become more skilled at managing, your membership, right? Like we can add tiers. You can do that. Like I always say, it's not saying no, it's saying what's next. That's all we did right there. We said, next is get this membership full, right? The next thing, A is get the membership sold at this one price. B can definitely be, let's add a tier next year. That'd be cool. Right? Or maybe you go out and get 200 people in the first quarter. That'd be awesome. Right? If you do that, well, maybe we can add a tier and add value, add something else. Maybe you hire a coach who you train who can do one-on-ones and they can take appointments every month. And you don't have to do that. You protect your time and you provide an employment and a job for somebody. Like that could be the next tier. That would be $200 a month. Like you get a 20-minute call with a Ariel certified mindset coach, right? Once a month with your membership. Like that could be cool, right? But that can be done next. Let's focus on the focus right now and say one thing, one offer, one sale, everything in it. Let's go. And now it's easy. We got it cool.
Yeah, it simplifies the marketing, all of the complications that I was not sure. What do I do with the Facebook ads? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? If I'm having multiple tiers, that's gone.
If the system is causing confusion, it's probably the system that's the problem. That's what we find. And we don't try to fix the system. We try to kill the system. If something's there and it's causing, like if I've got to have a 10-hour meeting with my team to figure out how to do something, like my first question today, we had a meeting this morning and it was about, or not a meeting, but something was going on with our scheduling software. Right. And so like people were buying spots to talk to Jocelyn, but like they weren't appearing on our calendar or something. And my first question is always, do we need that software? Is there a better way to do this? Like we need to kill that software. Let's get rid of it. The reason we switched to Kajabi is because we had 7 different products hooked together. That's dumb. Let's buy one product. And everyone learned Kajabi. And I don't care if it's got weaknesses. I don't care if it's got warts. I don't care if we're missing a bell or a whistle. It's easy, right? We fix the system, because we do that. So I think your system of how you were thinking about the tiers was wrong. It wasn't wrong. It was just like was causing you hangups. But this fixes it. And it's over.
And then the mindset of like, just do it. Leave her alone.
Yeah, just do it. Leave her alone. And that's why you've got the community, But Sarah, is that okay if you all block a timeout where he can bring things to you once a week?
Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to do that just to reschedule just for my schedule's sake, that we say, okay, during this time, like that's all going to be Rob Ariel. It's all we're going to do. So we've sort of been doing that. It's just kind of reinforces that that's what we should be doing.
Yes. And block it off and then don't say any, and then remind him.
And then one step at a time, we're just one packet at a time.
That's right. He's holding up the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint workbooks right now. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're doing it just one lesson at a time and integrating the whole lesson. And then we move to the next step. And
that's why you have members.
That's why we're here. Yeah.
I was just telling somebody the other night, like they kept asking all these crazy questions and bouncing all around.
Like start at one.
I said, she goes, I don't know what to do next. I'm like, well, how about going to start? there's a giant icon that says start inside the community, right? You're trying to eat the elephant, and you got to eat the elephant. You're trying to swallow it whole, and you got to eat it one bite at a time, man.
It's not an overnight like miracle thing, right?
No.
Just like what I do, right? You don't get what I described, but overnight.
Yeah,
you
for sure.
That, right.
And also too, like it's not just like an overnight thing. It's like you're going, like you did the right thing. You put the tiers out there and you see what happened. You tried to build your tiers and you have multiple tiers. And then you look at it in action and you realize this is overwhelming me. Or we look at it together because I've seen so many memberships and we're like, hey, we figured this out. Now we can take one step back to take 3 steps forward. That's the process. Like do it, take a step back, take 3 steps forward. Do it, take a step back, 3 steps forward. Like this is how online business works. And the faster people realize that, the faster they'll succeed. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up though, but that was a great conversation. I feel like I put you in the hot seat. I mean, you got me last today out of all my other things, and I was fired up today. So I feel like I put you in the hot seat, but I'm glad that you guys are so coachable. I love hanging out with you guys in the community. I love what you're doing. I think it's going to have a lot of positive impact in the world. It's going to send some ripples out there. And with a little more focus, I can't see what all happens. So tell everybody a little bit where they can find you online.
The website is ravariel.com. So people want to get on the list, that's there. I'm on Facebook at Rabbi Shulk, RABBISHOLK, and then there's a podcast and all kinds of stuff.
So go check them out. Go see it. What's going on? And we need to bring you back on in about 3 months. And I want to see exactly how many members you've got at this new tier. So you got like 1 week to build this. It's almost the new year. So I'm going to give you 1 week to go change everything to 1 tier. And then I'm going to tell Angela, say, all right, we're going to put him back on in April. And we're going to see because I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on this one. Deal?
Deal.
All right, man. Good. All right, guys, that wraps up my interview with Ariel and Sarah Shulkeeper. Man, what an awesome conversation with a great couple who is working together toward their online dreams. And even though Sarah's not in the business, she's supporting Ariel as he builds the online business and the membership community. And I know they're hustlers. I know they're hard workers, and I can't wait to see what they accomplish over the next 3 or 4 months inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. And we would love for you to be a part of the Flipped Lifestyle community as well. We'd love to help you overcome all of the mindset issues, obstacles, and things that are holding you back from building a better future for your family through online business. And we do that inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. You can join today and you can get all the training that you need. We have dozens and dozens of courses to help you with every phase of your journey as you build your online business. We have a huge community of hundreds of family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world talking in the Flipped Lifestyle community forums, asking questions, getting support from me, Jocelyn, and our team, and also inside of our Flipped Lifestyle community Facebook group. Plus, I do a couple live Q&As every single month where we bring the community together, we hang out, we help each other, and it's just a really, really fun environment. We got a lot of cool things coming up this year that are going to be amazing on those Q&As. We're going to be bringing on guests and some of my friends who are going to come help answer questions. It's just going to be an awesome time. We got workshops coming up. We're going to teach lots of new trainings, new courses. There's just so much going on in the Flipped Lifestyle community and the Flipped Lifestyle movement, and we would love for you to be a part of that. The cool thing is you can try the entire program for free right now. All you have to do is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free, and you can try out our trainings. You can try out Q&As. You can try out the community. See if it's right for you. We would love to help you go through the Flipped Lifestyle blueprint so you can create a better future for your family. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free. We'll see you inside. All right, guys, before we go today, we want to share a verse from the Bible. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation from Scripture. And I'm super excited because Sarah is going to read to us an amazing verse from Ecclesiastes today. And Ecclesiastes is like my top 3 books in the Bible. It's like my favorite to read. That, Romans, and probably Revelation, just because Revelation's crazy. But I love Ecclesiastes. So much good wisdom in there. And I want to hear what Sarah has for us today.
Thank you. I also love Ecclesiastes. It's just full of so much philosophy, just a good way of looking at life, what do you reflect? And these are some lines that I kind of come back to over and over, especially when thinking about what we're trying to do, which is 2 are better off than 1, and a 3-strand cord is not easily broken. And I think of that, and I think, as an individual, you're never really alone. You always have God, of course, but 2 are better off than 1. Thinking about like what we can achieve, Like, we are the two. And it's the Bible telling you that you're better off with somebody else. And it says a 3-strand cord is not easily broken. So like, how much stronger can we be if we bring in other people, if we are part of other communities to help inspire us? Like, you can't break that. So I love this as a philosophy of how to.
That's a good one right there, y'all. That was 3. We had 3 strands working for an hour on this membership tier today is what we had.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's a great Bible verse. Thank you guys so much for sharing. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for this week. What an amazing Bible verse, man. Like 2 chords are strong, but 3 are stronger and uneasily broken. And I love that Bible verse. And it's exactly why we created this community, so that we could bring people together to help each other, hold each other accountable, and move forward as a community. So we could tie all our strings together so that we can build a future for our families that is completely unbreakable. And I just absolutely love that verse, man. So thank you so much for listening today. I'm super inspired. I'm super excited for not only Ariel and Sarah, but for you and for what's possible in your family's future. And until I see you again, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.